Hello and good morning everybody, and welcome back to today's video of DIY investing. Today I wanted to go over and give you guys some quick analysis going into Bitcoin's market. We continue to paint higher highs in price, and this is a very bullish sign overall, especially for some of these altcoins. Many people assume the alts are dead in this time, with Bitcoin continuing to suppress the market. However, I do expect a retrace coming from Bitcoin, and once that retrace finds us, I do expect a lot of that money to start flooding back into these altcoins for a new healthy market cycle to come. Where exactly is Bitcoin going to retrace? Are we still heading higher in the cycle, or are we ready to go lower? I'm going to be covering all of that in today's video. If you find this video helpful, do myself a favor and leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more updates. If you like my analysis and want to see more of it, click the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. Currently we have over 80 members and it's growing very rapidly, so jump in, get a seat saved, and come do some technical analysis with us. Thank you all so much for the support. It really means a lot. I'm so excited to see what's happening with crypto. Things are really picking up, and it's awesome to have you guys a part of this team. With all that being said, let's jump right in the video today. Welcome back everybody to today's video. Today I wanted to keep it really short and simple by going over and giving you guys some quality Bitcoin analysis, giving you guys my thoughts where we're going from here. There's been a lot of really bullish movement coming from Bitcoin, so I figured I'd update you guys and show you kind of where I would expect us to kind of top out and then start to retrace, because we are headed straight for a major resistance. In fact, we're already there. And so it's important to mitigate the risk and show you guys my personal analysis moving forward with that. We're also going to be taking a look at the total market cap, giving you guys some analysis as far as that goes, what I'm seeing moving forward. And not only that, we're going to go through really quickly and scan over coin market cap. So coin market cap, currently the market cap sitting at 187 billion. Bitcoin crossed over that 100 billion mark a few days back, currently sitting at about 105 billion in total market cap. Bitcoin dominance is sitting at 56%. So all of this is a very good sign, especially if you're looking forward to an alt season. With Bitcoin dominance, you always want to see Bitcoin dominance at least of 50%. And that is because anytime we head for alt season, Bitcoin dominance has to be at least 50%, because that is really what is going to drive the value in the coming rallies that we would expect. And so Bitcoin has to have that market dominance in order for coins to actually take out of that value cap. Or the market cap. And so it's currently sitting at 56%. That's a good sign. We do need to see this drop a little bit lower if we're going to actually see some of these altcoins start to make their rallies. But we're just going to have to watch and see. Overall, I'm very excited with the way things are looking. Currently, almost all of the alts are in the green. Bitcoin's been going up, so that's been giving a lot of the alts some nice volume. Bitcoin's price is currently listed at 5,943, but it also depends on what exchange you're charting on. I'm currently using Bitstamp. I don't like to use Bitfinex because of the high premium with Tether right now. But overall, alts are looking very good right now. Got some nice movers. As far as the 24-hour change, you've got Japan content up 386%. I have no idea what that is. ABBC coin 25. 20 for True Change. So we've got some movers in the last 24 hours. Current losers of the last 24 hours, you got Orbs at about 4-5%, Pundi.x is at 4%, and then Ravencoin at about 4%. So really there's some losers, but for the most part the market stayed pretty consistent in this time. Not a whole lot of action, but it's looking good for the short term as is. Next, we're just going to go ahead and jump straight into my Bitcoin technical analysis, kind of what I'm seeing with this. I'll give you guys my wave count and kind of where I'm expecting things to top out. So if I go to the daily time frame, I'm going to go through and actually show you guys. These are my resistance levels that I have marked for this upcoming move on where we could potentially see a top. Now, my first one is this 5,800 barrier that we've had. And if you guys remember, this was a very strong support zone for the length of this consolidation that we had here in the bear market. Now, I've gone through and labeled 3 other ones on the way up because I do think that there is a chance that we could see further bullish continuation once this target has been broken and breached through. We're currently resting on that right now as we speak. Prices are reacting to it. We had a short stab through that, but prices weren't able to maintain, and so we're going to have to kind of watch and see what plays out from there. My next target, if we can maintain support above this about 58.50 level, is going to be about 61.30. This was another strong support zone that we had towards the end of our consolidation before we broke through support. And so this is another zone that I'm watching. The third zone is going to be about the 6,500 mark. If we can break through both of these resistance zones and claim support, then I would expect us to get a strong impulsive move back up. There isn't a ton of resistance in between the 61.30 and the 65, so I would expect a strong impulse up to this move. But yeah, that's going to be the next resistance level if we can go higher. And then my one final resistance level is going to be just under the 68 level. And that's another level that I don't necessarily expect to be filled. It is a possibility if we do see some very impulsive markets. But the way current consolidation is going, I just would not expect it. Unless we get a really extended 5 wave that takes us all the way up here, I'm not putting my bets in that favor. I'm just merely showing you guys that these 4 levels are resistance levels that are very strong. And in the case of a strong upward impulse, it's likely that we could see continuation to these resistance levels. So this is just kind of what I'm watching. I wanted to give you guys a quick update with that. One last thing I want to talk about real quick on the daily time frame is the fact that this was a major resistance that I was watching, and it's a major resistance that a lot of other people were watching, and this was about the $5,500 area. Now, as you guys know, we had this resistance zone right here. Now, with the most recent move that we had, we actually broke out of that and then retested that as support. So that's a very bullish sign overall. Anytime you have a support and resistance flip, that's always a good indication to go long. And from there, we're already getting a nice impulse out of that. So this is something that I'm currently watching. With this current impulse, it doesn't look like we're going to continue up much higher. My guess is we don't make it over this 61.30 barrier that I have drawn here. If we can even break out of the current resistance that we're fighting at about the $5,800 to $5,900 range. Now we're actually going to drop this to a shorter time frame real quick, and I'm going to go through and actually analyze my wave count. Now we're going to stick predominantly to this section right here because I feel as if this is the most important, but I am going to go through here and label my current Elliott wave count from back here. So obviously when we hit our bottom, our low at 32, that started the 1 wave, and then we had the 3 wave finish right here, and now we're currently working on the 5 wave. How high this 5 wave is going to go is yet to be determined. We're going to have to watch and see. After the 3 wave impulse, I actually expected us to drop down to about the $4,700 area and upwards of the $4,900 area. But in fact, we didn't, and we maintained an even more bullish stance than I previously expected. Now, after the initial sell-off, we had a WXY correction, and then this is what started our next impulse. Now I'll go through here and analyze. This is our 1, this is our 3, this is our 5. Let me change these up a little bit for you guys. And then we had our ABC retrace. Then we go into the next wave. And now we're working on the final 5 wave impulse. We've currently finished the 1, we've finished the 3, and now we're currently working on the 5 of this impulse. I think that it's very possible that we could come up and retest the 61.30 area as resistance for the final impulse of this 3 wave. And then after that, let's go through and analyze, really kind of show you guys what we're at. That will complete the 3 of the 5. And then we'll get a sell-off from there, and then we'll continue up in the next cycle, and we'll kind of see where things are going to go from there. Now, this final 5 wave, we're going to have to watch and see exactly how high it's going to go. It could be extended. We could see a really strong impulse that could take us to some of my higher resistance levels, or we could see something that's a little bit more in line with regular conventional Elliott wave theory, which takes us to about the 6,500 area. And so I'm going to kind of be watching and seeing what happens with that. But based off of my current wave count, we still have a final 5 wave impulse to go before we finish out the 3 of the 5 of this impulsive wave. And then we'll have our retrace, which will take us into the final 5 of the 5. Now, something to note, guys, is once you kind of get on this point where prices are venturing into the final 5 wave impulse, I've noticed that alts do a parity effect where they start to actually run with Bitcoin. And not only that, but when Bitcoin goes down, a lot of that money starts to flood into some of these altcoins. So this is what I'm going to be watching to see kind of what's going to happen with this final 5 wave impulse. Once we kind of top out, I would expect us to go no higher than the 6130 area for the final impulse of the 3 wave. And then the retrace should take us back down. Not a whole lot, but I would say that it could take us back down to about the 5,700 area. And then that should continue us back onto this uptrend of cycle. It has been a very bullish cycle thus far. The retraces have been very obsolete. I mean, even this WXY correction was more or less higher highs the entire way up. So I would expect that the retraces are going to be very insignificant. And this time I don't expect us, now that we've already gone through the 4 and already venturing into the 5 wave impulse, I don't necessarily expect us to have very strong retraces in the coming move. So this is kind of what I'm watching out for with Bitcoin moving forward. Wanted to give you guys a quick update with my analysis as far as Elliott wave perspective goes. This is what I'm going to be watching. This is what I'm going to be trading. I do expect us to have one more impulse that should take us to about 6130. Then we'll have a little bit longer of a retrace before we venture into the 5 wave. But overall, this is going to be perfect for altcoins. I feel like finally some of that money from Bitcoin is going to be leaving and going to be flooding into some of these that have been suppressed for a while. I know that a few alts have actually made some decent moves, but for the most part, compared to Bitcoin, it has just suppressed them. And so I'd expect this time to be a good time to be laddering into altcoins, taking some of your risk exposure off with Bitcoin and diversifying that into some of these alts. Now, just because of the fact alts are so cheap right now, with Bitcoin heading straight for that major resistance, currently sitting at that major resistance, I would want to limit that exposure and that risk involved, especially when there's altcoins that show remarkable setups that haven't seen in a couple years now, since about 2017. So that's what I'm going to be doing personally. I'm looking to be taking profits with my BTC and diversifying it in alts and taking more altcoin positions as they are in such a profitable accumulation phase. Obviously, this is the value of the entire cryptocurrency market cap. So it's important that we chart this and see kind of what's going on, because this is going to tell the entire story of all altcoins. It's going to tell the entire story of Bitcoin. And so it's important we take a look at that. Now, something to note since my last update is once we kind of hit this bottom and impulsed out, we now have more volume coming into these cryptocurrencies than we had the entire last cycle. Now, one thing that I was watching for with finding a bottom was I wanted to see that capitulation volume where the sellers come in, they dump all of their bags, you see max sell volume, max fear at this time, but we didn't really see that. When we had this strong sell-off that took us down to about 100 billion in total market cap, the volume relatively stayed the same since back here in June. So I didn't really see that same capitulation volume that I wanted. But then another factor that I talked about in some of my videos was the fact that maybe instead of seeing max capitulation volume with the sellers, we see a lot of buyers enter the market at these lows, and that's actually exactly what we saw. Currently, there's more volume coming into this market than we saw the entire cycle all the way up. So that's a very bullish sign. This, to me, is a perfect indication that the bottom is in. Anytime you see a lot of volume flooding in, more volume than you saw the last cycle, that's always a perfect buy indication for me moving forward. Now, with all that being said, we have broken from all major descending resistance on top of that. And that was really where we started to see some of this max volume come in, was after the breakout of that move. Now, with this current move, what we're seeing here, my wave count is about the same as Bitcoin, because keep in mind, guys, if Bitcoin's leading the way, the total market cap is going to be following Bitcoin predominantly because it owns the most market share. And so we're having the final 5 wave impulse. I would expect this final 5 wave to take us about to $214 billion range. Somewhere right around there is going to be a good target for me, just because of the fact that's a pretty major resistance. A higher target that you could look at would be about right here. Let's go about the $244 billion range. Something like that is where I would expect us to kind of retrace after this coming move. Now, after we finally hit resistance, that will complete the one wave, and then we'll see a slight retrace after. Depending on how bullish these markets are, we'll have to watch and see exactly how hard we're going to retrace. But for the most part, guys, this is very bullish overall. Anytime you start to see the final 5-wave impulse, that's always a key indication that the altcoins are going to start riding with Bitcoin. I've seen it happen a lot of times in the past, and so it's something that I'm going to be watching for in the upcoming cycle that we're having right now. So this is what I've been noticing for you guys. Wanted to give you guys a quick update with my Bitcoin technical analysis, what I'm seeing moving forward with that. Wanted to show you guys kind of where I would expect a retrace to come with the impulse of this last move. And not only that, but give you guys a quick update with the total market cap, kind of what I'm watching with that. Now remember, with the total market cap, it's going to follow Bitcoin predominantly, because like I said, Bitcoin owns the majority of the market share. And so as long as you really understand Bitcoin and what it's going to do, you can understand the total market cap as well. So this is what I wanted to update for you guys. This is what I wanted to share with you. If you found this video helpful, do myself a favor and leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more updates in the future. If you like my analysis and want to see more of it, feel free to join my Discord server down here. Currently have a little over 80 members in here, and it's growing very, very quickly. So super excited to have you guys a part of this. Super excited to see how much money we're going to make in the upcoming cycle, because alts are setting up across the board, and there's a lot of altcoins that you can follow along in this Discord. With all of that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.